know what I'm saying? Man said Levy knows what he's doing. He's ruthless. He is ruthless, bruv. He is. But, bro, he'd rather get some money than no money, I'd assume. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, getting no money for Harry Kane has got to be a nightmare for someone like him. Even though they didn't pay for him initially, like, real business is getting money for Harry Kane knowing that you didn't pay anything for him. Do you know what I mean? If he came on a free and he left on a free, even though you got good service out of him, he didn't win anything for you. So, do you know what I mean? Like, you don't get no satisfaction out of... It would have been different if Harry Kane stayed. He was like one of the class of 92, won a treble for you. You know what I mean? Won some league titles. And then you can say, oh, you know what? I got my money's worth in terms of what you've invested in his salary. But if he leaves and you ain't won shit yet, bro, at least get some money.
Yeah, bro, especially if you can get like what 80, 90 for a 29-year-old, you've hit the jackpot. I'll be real. Like, you actually have, like, for example, when people talk about Mount or Jesus, they went for like 50, 60, 70. You could always use age as a factor. Like, oh, Mount is only 23. Oh, Jesus was only 25. Like, they've still got longevity in them. Bro, if you're an owner and you've basically like milked Harry Kane, like you've used him for like nearly a decade, and now he's 29, 30, one more big contract in him, and you're still making funds that players in their prime at a young age are going for, bro, you got to take it. But I think with Levy, it's like he hasn't planned for life after Kane, because you can see it. Like, the managers, I think he looks at it and says, cool, if I lose Kane, I practically lose Son. As much as Son was crap last year, I think he feels like, yo, it might have just been an off season. But you could see they haven't planned for life after Kane, because I'll be real, take the P's, spend it on the team, because they're lacking across the park, like defense, midfield, attack, and just build a team that can function without relying on an individual, because that's where you can be a bit more sustainable in your performances, when you rely on the team, the unit, rather than an individual. And we've seen Tottenham, when Kane don't perform, them man are crap.
And I think that's why they brought in this manager. Do you know what I'm saying? Because it's more of a holistic approach to playing football, as opposed to someone like a Jose, where he's relying on individuals, isn't it? I think that this manager's meant to make them play more like a team. And yeah, it would just be interesting to see how that develops, bro. Like, I think that they'll do all right. I think they'll do better than people think, but they're still Tottenham, you know, like that. So they're not going to do anything of note. But I think that there'll be games where they surprise teams, isn't it?
Nah, he's a nice manager. I'll be real. And it's like, I always say, like, the best of managers are usually the ones that people are not familiar with. And it's like with him, like when the name came about, I had to go do research, because I was like, I don't know who my man is. But those surprise managers are always the ones that catch everybody by guard. Like with De Zerbi. Like, De Zerbi was at Shakhtar, and it's like nobody knew who my man was. Yeah, but now everybody wants him. And I feel like managers where nobody knows their philosophy, nobody knows much about them in terms of play style, they always can catch the league by surprise. But for a counter-pressing manager, from what I've read, man needs legs, because Kulu for me doesn't look like a presser. Son used to be. Kane isn't really. I think he needs a lot of reinforcements in attack.
Yeah, Richarlison will play a lot for this manager.
He will.
He'll play a lot for this manager. He seems like that manager's kind of player, innit? But then obviously, like, they just signed Kulu on a permanent. I don't know how much that had to do with the manager. Probably not a lot, you know, like that. So I don't really know. Obviously, Harry Kane, mobility-wise, probably isn't the manager's cup of tea, but he brings other quality, so you kind of make allowances for that. Son does press, but he presses when he wants, kind of. He presses in certain areas, innit? But he's not going to be your relentless pressing machine. So, yeah, like, it's going to be interesting to see what they do. But Tottenham are letting people leave now, which is good. Like, you're seeing people actually leaving the club, and it looks like the manager is actually starting to kind of get rid of a lot of the dead wood they had. So I think he'll surprise people. But again, I don't think there's no danger of top four for Tottenham, bruv. You know what I mean? Their manager's going to finish comfortably, I say 6th or something like that, and then that's a good season for them.
Yeah, no. I think they've been replaced by Newcastle. I'll be real. Like, it's going to take a lot for Tottenham to get back in the top four, because, like, even right now, if I was to look at it, I'd be like, yo, you could really say United might be in trouble next year for top four. Like, as much as I don't want to say it, but fam, like, I'm looking at Newcastle will spend P's.
Chelsea, they're getting linked with Barella, bro.
But I'll be real, like 50 million. I was like, if Man United let Newcastle get Barella for 50 million, like hang your head in shame, because I was like, stylistically and in terms of profile, everything that people like in Mason Mount, this guy is superior to him in every single department, and he's cheaper. So it didn't make sense to me. But apparently it's not for 50 million, but apparently he is available, but I think for a different price tag. But nah, there are like next year's top four will be crazy. And I think United need to start spending some peas or just get this takeover thing done and dusted. If not, just spend wisely. Because I'll be real, bro. Like what, 120? And man are willing to spend 70 million of that 120 on Mount. Like, that don't sit right with me. It don't sit right.
Yeah, it's looking a bit brazy right now. You know what I mean? Obviously, man, you've questioned Ten Hag's talent ID from the beginning, to be honest. I think the jury's out on him this summer, you know. If we sign some scrubby ballers, yeah, this is when, hey, bro, man, have to side-eye him, bro. Because some of the links that we've been getting is shambolic. Like, these are some of the worst players we've been linked with in my time as a Man United fan, bro.
Bro, it's like sometimes I look at the rumors. Like for me, the icing on the cake was when I saw Robin Koch.
Bruv,
fam, I was like, you're taking the piss with me. Like,
crazy, innit?
That's the thing. But I think when it comes to his talent ID, I think you could see that he favors players that either he's worked with in the past or that he knows about from like working in the Dutch league, and he's had the opportunity to watch them a few times.
Watch them as a manager, yeah.
But I'll be real, bro. Like the Dutch league, as it is, like it's a very hit and miss league. Like I remember when we signed Memphis, bro. I thought we were getting a baller. Like he was scoring 25 plus goals, 15 plus assists. He done well in I think it was the World Cup at the time. He came to Man United and he fell off a cliff. And it's like the thing I don't like the most about Ten Hag, I'd probably say, is the lack of diversity when it comes to leagues. Like it's sometimes it sounds like it's the Dutch league or nothing else. And it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're right. Even with the Memphis one, I feel sorry for him because it was like he was brought in, to be the number 7, the talisman. Yeah, he wasn't ready. Like he was still finding himself as a player. Do you know what I mean? So I think there's a lot of pressure on him that wasn't needed. And to be fair to him, he went and he rebuilt his career away from us, and he almost he kind of redeveloped as a player, bruv, and he transformed into a 9, and a 9 that scored goals. Do you know what I'm saying? And my man was Panenka in penalties and his temperament and that. He could have been bruv, he had all the attributes to be a top centre forward, but when we signed him, we didn't sign him as that, you know, like that. So it's like you saw his game kind of develop as he got older and he kind of grew into himself. But it was with Memphis, it was more of like right player, wrong time kind of situation. Do you know what I mean? And with a lot of these players as well in the Dutch league, I would kind of like to see them go somewhere else before they come to us. Do you know what I mean? Because but I don't trust that league, bro. That league's the worst when it comes to do stuff there, bro. Like I'll never forget Dirk Kuyt, bruv, when he signed for Liverpool, bruv, off the back of being some prolific goal scorer in Holland, bro. And he's 2-2s, he's a right back, blood.
Nah, that's what it is. Like
they are just fucking engine, bro. Just cardio merchant, bro.
Nah, you know what it is? It's like I get it where people will be like, all right, cool. Why don't you take the gamble on the young, exciting, promising star from the Dutch league that you can get for 20 million rather than letting them go somewhere else and then all of a sudden they become 80 million? I don't have a problem with taking a gamble on young players because of their potential. The only thing I don't like is it just feels like Man United are just taking too many gambles on the same players from the same league. And it's like, yo, like there's no guarantee that it's going to be a hit like Malacia, where you sign Malacia for 15 million and he lives up to it. He's worth 15 million. Because let's be real, you might end up falling down the same route as like you pay nearly 100 M's for Anthony, but he hasn't even shown half the quality. He hasn't even shown the quality of a 50 million pound player. So this team, I think it does need some ready-made ballers as well as having some young, exciting ones. But I don't know, bro. Like we haven't made any signings at the moment, but the names I'm hearing for 120 million pound budget,
mad, uninspiring, innit?
They're boring. Like I was saying this to like Arsenal fans, where I was like, when you man see the Havertz rumors, you know, when you make a new signing and you get that like that new signing feeling, like you can't wait to see preseason photos, you can't wait to watch their debut.
Yeah.
I was like, fam, man seeing Mount. Like, I'm not gonna give two shits about man's debut. I'm familiar with
Yeah,
Mount.
man,
I
man
know
ain't
what I'm
watching that.
getting.
Yeah. You're right.
So
It's one of them ones where I remember when man was growing up, like man used to look forward to waking up early in the morning to watch preseason in America because we got new players playing and that. You know them one. But ain't no one trying to wake up to watch Mason Mount, blood. You know, like
yeah,
that's
no,
some
true.
bullshit. So,
That's what it is. So it's like Arsenal fans, I'm like, bro, I'd agree if you man were like that with Havertz. Like, you're familiar with the guy, you've watched him week in, week out, you know what you're getting. Now, of course, maybe a change of system might elevate their performances, but I'll be real. Like, me and Mason Mount, I understand, like, I now fully understand how Ten Hag wants to play, why he's looking at certain profiles, this and that. But I'll be real, the ceiling isn't even that high with my man. Like, there are better players for a cheaper price than Mount. And it's like, when I put 1 and 2 together, that he wanted Mount when Mount was at Vitesse in Holland, it just hasn't sat right with me ever since then.
100% in it's bullshit, bro. You know the ones. Go get James Maddison. It's cheaper and better.
Right.
You know,
Bro,
like that.
there's players out there.